Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, then 4:45 p.m. On Facebook Live. Today we're talking about I am, which doesn't probably make much sense right now, but it'll make sense in about 2 minutes. Thanks for being here. If you're new to the show, I should also say a few words about myself. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, whose film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called My People. And I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americus, which just came out on iconic Third World Press a few months ago. That book interrogates the intersection of race and violence in America. It's set 13 miles from Ferguson. I'm also the author of the acclaimed new book of literary theory, animating black. I'm acclaimed right now, animating black and brown liberation, a theory of American literatures, which just came out in April of this year, a couple months ago now, on SUNY Press in New York. That book is a book which examines the connection and intersection between activism and literature. That book is really powerful. Very proud of that book. I'm on the tour for those two last books. I'm coming to a town I'm sure near you. I'll be in Vermont. I'll be at the Brattleboro Book Festival. I'll be in Kentucky. I'll be in Chicago. I'll be back here in LA. I'm coming. When you see me in town, reach out. I'm also the board president of the World Stage, great 501c3 nonprofit here in Los Angeles. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, master's UCLA, and PhD from the University of California at Riverside. Listen, I'm an expert at being productive. I don't say that to brag or boast, but people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity when they learn of my crazy background, which is why I always tell the story to start the show, because it's not where you're from, it's where you're about to go. I am the product of a young girl who was violated at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee who was amazing, yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD, yet as cool. Modi famously said, you like me now. And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, we are knowing that many of you can similarly be productive. So we're excited to. That's why we have this show, and why we have our business. We love helping people help themselves. So, thanks for being here. Ooh, I just got a total brain flash. I have a deadline to meet here. What's today's date? Yikes. So thanks for being here. All right. So, said a really important deadline just flashed in my mind. I'll get that done. Today is Monday. Things due today or tomorrow. Sorry, brain is working. So yes, thanks for being here. Today we're talking about I am, which I'll explain right now. So let's dive into the topic. Again, go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. So here we go. Or become a subscriber here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Hit that subscribe button. Get all these videos for free. I did say free. 1, 2, 3, 4, free. Here we go. So we're talking today about I am. I am is a tradition that, the I am tradition is a tradition that is very present in what we call the ancient knowledge wisdom, or at times simply called wisdom literature, from throughout Egypt, Africa. Egypt at the coast of Africa, at the northern point of Africa. At times, just as a clarification, at times people try to separate Egypt from Africa. No, Egypt is Africa. Egypt is on the African continent. The Middle East is just a political term that people use to for political purposes. Says, in case you didn't know, Egypt is on the continent of Africa, so northern Africa. So this is northern African wisdom literature, which also, of course, had a great influence on Israel and Judeo kind of Christian traditions. As you may know, that Israel is right at probably one point it's actually connected to the continent of Africa itself. It's right just across the Dead Sea, Red Sea, a short distance. I'm sure not even 100 miles from the coast of Africa. I'm not sure how wide that sea is, but it's not very long at all. It's probably more like 40 miles wide, but if that. So as from our vantage point, Israel is just like like an island just off the coast of Africa, but we now call that the Middle East. But and so it's the at its foundational point, the I am tradition is understanding the isness, the oneness of being, and in the Egyptian tradition, the I am is a part. The I am is a way of saying, I am the one. I am the knowledge. I am the primordial being, the thing that was here in the beginning. I am, like God is or Spirit is. I am. Have always been here. Will always be here. I may change forms, but I am. In the Christian tradition, Jesus Christ oftentimes spoke about being the great I am. He was referred to as the great I am, as a part of the one tradition, the one God. But as we know, just through that wisdom literature, that everyone is a part of the I am. Everyone is I am, and a part of our job to access that power is to speak that, to know that, and to claim that the I am. So that's part of that mystic Gnostic tradition of the I am. Gnostic is a Greek word, comes from the Greek word for gnosis. Is the Greek word which comes from the root word gnosis, which means knowledge. It's that the idea of knowing, as the ancient Egyptians who call themselves Cam or Kamal, the black people from the land of Kim or Cam, land of the blacks. They have an idea which is somehow been credited to the Greeks, which is pretty crazy, that know thyself, which is chiseled on the Great Pyramid of Giza, at times Giza, which is know thyself. Kind of going off a little bit today, but I want to make the point clear. So this is ancient wisdom. So the ideal of knowing thyself is the key to the understanding the I am tradition. I am, again, is saying, by claiming that, living that, is saying that I am a part of the original thing. I am the God itself, not the same intensity or same quantity of God. If you imagine me going to the ocean now, getting a thimble of ocean water. I live here in Venice, so getting a thimble of ocean water outside my house, it's still the ocean, but it's a thimble full of ocean water versus the larger grand ocean. The I am tradition is saying that we are that thimble of water. We are that thimble of ocean water, that thimble of God. Still God, but just not in the same quantity, but qualitatively we are the same. So that's the whole foundational principle behind the great I am. Just knowing that stuff, and I can tell this to you, but it's best to gain conviction about it by doing your own research. Reach out to me. I can give you a gazillion books to read, but a good book to start at, just in terms of getting kind of a broad perspective, is a book called The Metu Neter, M-E-T-E-R. I'm sorry, M-E-T-U, second word, N-E-T-E-R. It has a kind of a summary, which is of that tradition, which gives you both history and also a practical way to think about accessing the knowledge. So through meditation and other modalities. That book is really a good, and get volume 1 to start. But there's also the Book of Breathings. There's a great book, the Book of Thomas in the Gnostic tradition. There's a great book I'm reading right now, which is called the Nag Hammadi Reader. Reach out. I'll give you a bunch of books to read. They're awesome, and they'll help you to gain your own conviction about how you are the I am. Point 2 is that once you have that knowledge, you have to place it into practice. That's the hard part. That's the part that takes the work. You don't have to. We encourage people to live it out. I know, as you know, my show. If you know the show, I've been going through a series of really credible betrayals. There's people close to me, just really shocking. It's one thing to be betrayed by people you don't know, but who know you and betray you. That's, as Sonia Sanchez says, being wounded in the house of a friend. It's pretty traumatic. And so, but in that space, you are forced to deal with what you believe in. So I know some people listening and watching know that of which I speak, which goes right into point 3. As you begin to have your knowledge tested, yourself tested, and your beliefs tested, you begin to rise even more to your great I am. You know that it's all a part of it, as Bob Marley famously said, because it's all part of the one. And at that point, that's the key to the knowledge. Know that you are the one. Boom, goes to dynamite. That impacts your level of productivity because you are the one. It's all related. So thanks for being here. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.